Fourth video of the night. Let's get back to it. Well, still eating this snack. The Airheads Bite, still eating this snack. But with the taste in my mouth from the way I ended the last video off, I must say, again, I don't give two craps about Jesus' race. I don't. I know that I'm saved through his love, his grace, and his mercy on my busting at the young life. I'm 20 years old. I can care less about his race. And I can tell you, for the people who do care about his race, they only care about his race so they can prove a supremacy point of view. People, look up the definition of racism. It's literally right there in the definition of racism. It's literally right there. But then bring that up to somebody who's actually racist, or bring it up to somebody who is fond of those Hebrew Israelites, and they'll tell you, like, they'll just, again, hide behind whatever and give you how many different examples of how they ain't racist. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. And by the way, to all the kids, if you possibly might be watching this video, I'm trying to make definitely the last video or two as appropriate for you as I can. So if you have to watch these videos with your parents, please do. I'm not saying anything foul in them, but I'm not being as politically correct with everything as I could and or should. But sometimes you can't be politically correct. You have to just be blunt honest in order for the words to really dig into people's skin, get into their conscience, and make them think. Sometimes you can't care. It's like what Ben Shapiro said. Facts don't care about your feelings. Well, they don't. There's so much to expose, man. So much to expose. But, because I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen, it's just amazing how you can't tell me personally you're not a racist, but yet every chance you get to bash the white man, you bash him. You can't tell me you're not a racist, but yet every chance you get to bash somebody else of a different skin color, of a different ethnicity, you know, with backgrounds and stuff, you can't tell me you're not racist. You know, Asian, Latino, Mexican, etc. You get the point. You cannot tell me you're not racist, but every chance you get to bash these people and judge one person off the sins of many, or judge many off the sins of one, you cannot tell me that you're not racist. You just can't tell me that you're not. And the reason why I say that, ladies and gentlemen, because it's just wrong. It's just wrong. You have to, and I'm not saying at times, I have not, I guess racially profiled. Of course, I've at times racially profiled people. But I've tried to do it in the most, I guess you could say, if it's even correct to say, the most purest way I could. To where I'm not fully holding you to those exact standards, but I am questioning you with some of them on how you feel about them and how you move about with them. Because, for example, this might offend a lot of people, but this is definitely the way I grew up with my ideology. And I could still somewhat say I kind of have the ideology, because I have somewhere in my bloodline I got Asian. Somewhere in my bloodline I got Asian, and I got Native American. I think somewhere in my bloodline. But again, don't start calling me Pocahontas like y'all call Elizabeth Warren, please. I'm not claiming any of that stuff. I'm just saying somewhere in my bloodline I got it. I just plainly identify as a black African American. That's what's up. But I have a stereotype. I guess it's more of a stereotype. I have a stereotype that all Asian people are smart. I grew up with that stereotype that all Asian people are smart. You know, and with that being said, I hope I'm using the right word. With that being said, a lot of whites are growing up with a stereotype that all blacks are hoodwinkers, gangbangers, and etc. But again, listen to a lot of our rap music. I can't blame you if you did grow up with that, because a lot of us are rapping about that on almost every song. And a lot of young black people are growing up thinking that this is the white man's world and you can't do nothing about it. A lot of blacks are growing up thinking this is the white man's world, you can't do nothing about it, and you're set up to fail because it's the white man's world. I can rest assure you that no, you're set up to fail because of your own ideology towards that being this is the white man's world. You know, God created this earth, God created the heavens, God created everything on this planet. You have to trust in God, and you gotta get out of the biased BS ideologies that you were raised upon. You know, and I am just saddened and ashamed that so many, I want to say, black parents have fed their children absolute BS over the years. And if not black parents, other black children have fed other black children BS from wherever they got it from. Excuse me. I mean, I'm of that type that I literally have been raised to hold my elders up to where it's like they are, I wouldn't say all saints, but they're all wise people, tremendously wise people through how long they've lived and everything they've gone through. That's what I've been raised upon. But I can't blame you, or I can't, you know, or I need you to understand that over the last couple of years, I feel like that is just not that's just not the truest case at all anymore. I think some of my elders, you know, or some of our elders are some of the most, again, bigoted, double standard, biased, racist people you'll ever meet in your life. Because a lot of them love and still live in that slave mentality. And I mean slave mentality to where they're literally trying to keep everybody, you know, everybody down in the gutters with them. They're trying, like, if you want to get better and improve yourself, no, they're demonizing you for that. They're like, no, you got to stay here with us and fight this and fight that. No, I don't. And then if you don't stay there in a gutter in a slum with them, they're calling you a traitor and et cetera, et cetera. Ladies and gentlemen, those are just poisonous, I want to even say demonic mentalities. I'm amazed how many churches we got around this country, and not just the country, but the world, and people still lack moral character. They still feel the need for stabbings and robberies and kidnappings. I cannot tell you how disgusted I am with the kidnappings. I really cannot tell you. But I'm definitely, you could say, but beyond horrified. Which is one of the top reasons to all parents out there who might be futurely watching this video. I understand how in today's day and age, with how wherever you live, it's hard to trust your kid with anybody else. I mean, you're already taking a chance with the school system, and then with Sunday school, you know, at church, you're already taking chances with both those things. And the problem is that with both those vices, it's been proven that they're not bulletproof, which is, it's been proven that, again, children have been molested in church, you know, and I'm very sorry that ever happened to you, because it shouldn't exist anymore. But it's happened. I literally just read a report the other day about a police officer that just committed suicide, who was also working at a church. I think it was both. I think he was doing both of those, and then and he committed suicide because he was under investigation for them finding child pornography on his computer, his church computer. I get it. It's hard to trust people. It's hard, especially knowing the fact being, if you are definitely studied up on the Bible, you would know that a lot of people pose as angels of light, but are obviously very much demons at night. To try to make a rhyme there a little bit. Angels of light, they pose as angels of light, but they're actually demons at night, or they pose as angels of light, but they're actually demons of the night. Trust me, it's disturbing, it's gross, it's horrifying, and I authentically, I have these two sides of me that's always, rumbling with each other. And I mean, two sides of me as in, like, mentalities of, like, one day I'm thinking the world is living up and doing better. Another day I get shocked back to reality, and I'm like, no, this world is falling apart and needs Jesus so desperately. I can't just stop watching the news, because I rest assure you I need to be informed so I can talk about issues and I can help the kids be more aware and prepared when they go out throughout their daily lives. A lot of children love me for good, godly reason, because that's all I do is I try to guide them the Lord's way, and I try to support and encourage them in Christ's name. And I rest assure you that we live in a day and age where, again, even young people themselves are very high risk of so many things when it comes to, I want to say, collective damages, because a lot of young children, they're so desperate for clout and fame, they'll do almost anything. Even, you could say, yeah, I don't want to go down that road, what I was about to say. But actually, I might just do it just to go ahead and say it because it's true. Some kids are so desperate for clout and fame, they'll do anything from changing their gender to, um, sacrificing their limbs, doing near death stunts, so many other things. And like I say, the gender part, it's no full disrespect to the trans community of LGBTQ. No full disrespect to you at all. But just know there a lot of people within that community are literally doing it, for all the wrong reasons and such. You know, and it's horrifying to me. I said it in other videos. I do think a lot of parents have absolutely failed their children, and I just don't get how when we have church. I just don't get it. But like I say, even that, cause I mean, how many books by pastors do you have that are on the New York Times bestsellers list? But yet people still lack morality? I don't get it. Someone explain that. Fill that in for me. But like I say, ladies and gentlemen, the evidence is definitely there. It's definitely there. And I'm just trying to constructively vent as much of this as I can without ruffling too many feathers. Because I know some people are probably like, man, I hate you now. I'm going to turn you off. I'm never going to watch you again. Sorry if I've ruffled your feathers too much, but these are some dark, grim realities of our culture, especially within pop culture, and especially within what the youth will do for fame and fortune, / what parents will do just to keep their kids supposedly happy in a falsehood of happiness. Because you have parents that are actively trying to raise their children to question their genders at early ages, which is the most stupidest, I want to say, I'm not going to say the R word, but it's the stupidest, most child abuse thing ever, I think. And if child abuse doesn't fit under that umbrella, it's just stupid. It doesn't make any sense. There is only two genders, boys and girls. Anything else, God be with you, because I can't go fully into that, honestly. But there's only two genders, boys and girls. And I really wish more people would learn to love themselves by what God originally created them as, rather than trying to journey off and be something that they're truly not, just so they can feel whatever void it is within them that they feel. And that's why I feel like any parent who lets their child do it, go through that transgender chain, before they're 18 years old, I feel like any parent that does that, you failed your child, and you literally possibly are going to hell if you don't repent for that. Because you're an abomination, if you were to ask me. Letting your child change their gender before they're 18 years old, I think you're an abomination to me. That's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. But I'm telling you, think about it. Because this is where I have to definitely ruffle some feathers here. I love all my LGBTQ friends. And I'm a straight black male. But I love all my LGBTQ friends. But I gotta be blunt honest with you about some of my opinions here. I hope I can say some of it to your face and you don't ostracize me, but I can rest assure you that this world is temporary. This world is very, very temporary. You can literally look at world news, and it's very temporary. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, another thing I was raised upon was that in the last days, supposedly biblically in the last days, things are supposed to be worse than Sodom and Gomorrah in the Bible. Supposedly in the last days, things are supposed to get worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. And if you think about it, ladies and gentlemen, we, in many cases, and I'm not saying I can predict when the end of the world is going to happen, because I think we got decades and decades to go, but that's just my opinion. But if you look at how this culture is being run today, it's being run into the pits of hell. It's absolutely being run into the pits of hell. Things are definitely happening because they have to happen. It's all part of God's plan. Some things have to happen when it comes to all this sex abuse scandals coming out. It has to happen. So again, this is the 4th video tonight. I hope something within this video was inspirational to you. I got more coming soon. Thank you all. God